Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today's video is going to be another ramble. I don't know, I just feel like I've been really working towards, new gun stuff, new car stuff recently, so I feel like there's a lot to ramble about. Usually I start with car stuff, so today I'll start with gun stuff. I went shooting for the first time in a while the other day, finally. Shot a couple, well, everything new that I shot. I'll start with kind of like a two-for combo here. They are clear. Just showing everybody they're clear. These are both, this one's a little Bond Arms Derringer, and this is my Taurus Judge. They're both chambered in 410 and 45 long Colt. I've, especially where I live in the country, there's no shortage of birdshot 410, critical duty 410. There's all kinds of 410 out there. But the other day, for the first time at my local gun shop, they had a 45 Colt, and I've never shot that before. And these are the two guns that I finally got to shoot it out of. I'll start with this. I want to say I paid like $400 for this little guy because it's the polymer one. And if you're just looking to have a fun, good time, see, the front sight's a little. But if you're just looking to have a fun, good time, this thing's kind of it. The only thing my complaint is it's got it's notorious. There's several guns out there that I can't do anything with my pinky, so you're just kind of forced to figure something out. But 410 and 45 Colt out of this was actually pretty fun. It's a good amount of power and recoil without being too much. What I mean by too much is this. I always wanted a Derringer, and same thing. It's probably been about a year now that just went into the gun shop and he had one of these. And I said, screw it. I've always wanted a Derringer, so 410. So what do I have? I have some Winchester 2.5-inch birdshot, and out of this, it's really not that bad. I mean, don't get me wrong, you see the size of this little guy. It's still quite it's quite a lot. Let me put it that way. But it's manageable with the 410. I mean, to be honest, the 410 goes to almost the edge of the barrel here. With the 45 long Colt, however, this is pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. The problem with a gun of this size. So first off, you have to the way I naturally want to hold it interferes with the hammer. So you have to actually kind of come down on it some, which then means, again, your pinky's free floating. And then 45 Colt, it tears up the palm of your hand, because it just kind of comes back. It almost punches your hand. Is the best way I can describe it. So I'm glad I got to experience 45 Colt. The problem is it's $1 a round right now, and I just bought a box of 50 rounds just to try it out, say I did, but for both of those guns, I'd much rather still prefer to shoot some birdshot 410. I mean, I still have a couple rounds if somebody else wants to come and shoot it, but I'll pass on doing that again. And next up is kind of the same scenario. Clear. And what I mean by that is this is my little Taurus. It's a 605. This one's chambered in 357 and 38 special. So let me tell you, it's a little pocket gun. I mean, I could potentially even carry this one day if I wanted to buy like a little pocket holster or something. But let me tell you, 38 special out of this was a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie. Well, let me put it this way. I have a lot of carry guns as it is that are all equipped with, they have a holster, they have a light, or just whatever. Like they're good, ready to go. So I don't need any more carry guns. I have this is predominantly what I carry, my 365. It's really small, 10 round capacity. I mean, it's an overall great package. And I like to wear just like gym shorts, and I can conceal it very well in these. So when I buy guns, I'm not really buying them for like, at this point, I'm not really buying them for like concealed carry purposes or home defense or anything like that. I'm mainly buying them for fun. In the case of this guy, it can be a concealed carry, and maybe I will, maybe I won't, but I just wanted something in 357 and 38 special, just to, again, go have fun time at the range. Excuse me. I believe I've explained it before, but I'm not 100% sure. So, I have explained, obviously, that I'm looking to try to get a gun of, like, every caliber. But I don't think I've really explained why before. I might have, but, so, pre-pandemic, there's a Cabela's about an hour north from us, and that's where we used to go anytime we needed a gun transfer. It kind of was also a fun little trip, it wouldn't be like an every week occurrence. It would be like maybe once a month or once 2-3 months. We would go up there, and you'd go up there. There'd be obviously the gun you bought or the gun you shipped up to him. There was two, kind of four. So there was two actual whole rows of ammo, and then each row had two sides to it. So there was kind of four aisles, I guess. I don't know what the proper wording is. Of ammo. And then there was gun parts, gun accessories. There was all kinds of stuff. So it was fun to save up some money and go take a trip up there. And then when the pandemic hit, all four rows that I'm talking about, gone. I mean, and the thing that was really cool and what I loved about them was that they had like a row of just your casual 9mm, 40, 45, like 380, like boring stuff. They always had they had 50 Action Express. And they had my 500 Smith & Wesson. Not only did they have 350 grain, they had 500 grain. So they had multiple different ammo types for 500 Smith & Wesson. They had 460 Smith & Wesson, 480 Ruger. They had 50 BMG on the shelves. And then they had, so that was like one row of just like really common stuff, even if it's, 50 Action Express. And then the row next to it was like hunting and exotic. So, I mean, you would have, see, the problem is, like, I was into guns in, like, 2019 before the pandemic, but, I wasn't, like, it's like I had my Desert Eagle, that I bought, but had like 3 guns, and the Desert Eagle was the third one. Um, I just wasn't very well versed. So I loved guns, but like I couldn't look at a gun and say, especially when it comes to like the older style guns, and say, oh, well, that's a 7.5 Swiss. The military has been running crazy drills. I live near an Air Force base, and they've been running crazy drills with all kinds of nonsense I've never seen before. Something just went over. Where was I? Did that screw up my train of thought? Probably did. Oh yes. So like, yeah, even now to this day, like I have a 405 Winchester. Before I walked into my local gun shop a couple months ago and found that, I didn't know what 405 Winchester was, or that it even existed. So, and I think that's some of the fun of guns, to be honest, but, like, a lot of guns, so they had all different types of crazy cool ammos on the shelves, and a lot of it was like that, I think it's PPU is the brand, it's a blue box, they make all kinds of, like, so I have, like, their 303 British, and their 7.62 Nagant ammo. They make a lot of old, obscure, obsolete cartridges still. So there was a lot of cool stuff, even like that. And I don't remember like exactly the calibers, but there was even times where I would go up and I'd be like, what the heck is 6.5 Carcano? And I would open it up and look at it and, just be amazed. So, pandemic hit, and there was, I distinctly remember, there was one time, my brother and my dad got lucky. I think I was at work. They went up there. It used to be so there was pandemic. There was a small period of time where you could go up by appointment only. So you were the only one in the entire Cabela's. And then they just became, they just had eventually opened their doors to anybody. And when it was appointment only, my brother and dad went up there, and they said it was stocked with every ammo you can imagine. And they said you could buy as much of it as you wanted, and they said that's the biggest mistake they ever made, was not buying everything. I mean, they bought like a couple thousand rounds of 9mm and stuff like that, but the years follow. Even now, to this day, it never has recovered. That Cabela's never recovered. So it was a big mistake not buying all their 50 Action Express and everything. But the first time I went back, when they just opened their doors to the general public, all two rows, 4 aisles, I don't know what you want to call it, they were very, very barren. The only ammo they had on this shelf was, I think it was 6.8 Western, and I think 7mm Mauser. Those were the only 2 cartridges. And so, my original point of telling this whole story was why I want every caliber, and some of it is just the fun of, again, you have like different sized guns. Again, here's 2 guns that shoot the same calibers, but they're different sizes, and there's different sized guns, there's different caliber sizes, so I feel like it's a lot of fun to mix and match things. And again, these 2 shoot the same calibers, but they are entirely different in the way they shoot. So, looking at the shelf, I don't have a 6.8 Western or a 7mm, and that day was sort of like the day I said, alright, I don't want to be in this situation ever again. I just, so now, if that ever happens again, where tomorrow picks up and they say, hey, there's another pandemic, everyone's buying up ammo, or they talk about some kind of ban or whatever, then at that point, I can go to the store and say, alright, well, clearly no one else in Delaware has a 6.8 Western, but I do, and I'd buy up all that ammo. it just sucked because even now, that's where I got all my 50 Action Express was Cabela's before the pandemic. And I'm sitting on like half a box right now. And even online, a lot of places haven't recovered. It's like I would love to go out and shoot my Desert Eagle some more, but Cabela's never restocked. Seems like nowhere online ever restocked. So it sucks that I can't shoot that one particular gun. But even now I have so many more different calibers, more different guns. So yeah, it sucks I can't shoot that one, but I can shoot a bunch of other guns. And that's sort of what I wanted to be at was even my local gun shop. He has all different types of calibers available, but if another pandemic hits or something like that, and all he has on the shelf is 32 ACP, like, I'm still covered. So some of it is like some of it's just for fun, and I love shooting different calibers and everything. They're all very different experiences and different price tags and everything. But then some of it, and the main reason I went down that path in the first place was like a preparedness sort of thing. So that's sort of what set me down that path. And we went up to Cabela's a few months ago because we needed, right next to it is over the border into Maryland is a fireworks shop, since we're stocking up for 4th of July. And I guess not only did they have problems with the pandemic, but then they had a big problem with people stealing ammo. Excuse me, allergies are a fun time this year. So they had a big problem with people stealing ammo, and that sort of... So that when we went there the last time, they had it all behind a counter. So you had to walk up to the guy, ask him, "Hey, you got any 50 Action Express?" He said, "No." 500 Magnum? No. Like, they didn't really have much, except the very boring, basic calibers out there. So it's a far cry to what Cabela's used to be. And then ultimately, when we went up that one time that had all the empty shelves, I shipped them. It was my Heritage Rough Rider. That's the last gun I ever shipped them. We used Cabela's for many years. If you don't know, when you ship a gun to a place, usually they charge a fee for doing the background check. Cabela's was, and majority of places are $30. That Henry, it's a Heritage Rough Rider. It's that 16-inch 22 revolver that I have. It's just a silly little gun. I love shooting it. It was $150, and I was expecting to pay $30 for a transfer fee. And they said they had already done my background check. I went to the counter, and they said $60. They said, "Yep." I guess they really don't want people's business. They got a lot of business during the pandemic, and they said, "We don't really want that much." So they raised it up to $60. So I paid $60 on a $150 gun. It sucked, but that was the point where I remembered I used to work with the local gun shop we go to now. I used to work with his sister, and we were calling around trying to find places that had like the $30 transfer fee that were closer than an hour away. And like I said, a lot of it was just the fun of just going up there, taking a trip. But it's nicer to have something closer. There's like some local pawn shops and stuff that are like, "No, it's $45 per gun." At the time that we were looking for a new gun shop, Palmetto had a deal where they were blemished lowers. I still have, you can actually see the box right there that my thumb's pointing to. There was a pack of 3 lowers, and they were like $40 each, I want to say. It was a really good deal. And out of the 50 lowers that were probably bought between me, my brother, and my dad, majority of the blemishes were either really tiny nicks or you couldn't see them at all. You really couldn't. So it was a great price. But even so, several gun shops around here were like, no, it's going to be $30 per lower, which would be $90. One was $45 per. And then that's where we met. I think I thought about it. I'm like, I used to work with that guy's sister. Let me call him up. He's like, nope. As long as it comes in one. He said it doesn't matter. If 100 guns come in one shipment, he'll just charge you the flat rate of $30. And here we are to this day still using him. So, that's sort of just a long side tangent of why Cabela's kind of made me want to get a gun of every caliber and why I stopped using them. My original point was this guy here, and 38 Special is a lot of fun out of this. I really enjoy it, no problems whatsoever. 357 is trying to use a non-explicit here. It's not fun. It was not. This back texturing here was imprinted onto my palm. Yeah, it was not very fun. So I will exclusively buy 38 Special for this boy going into the future. And then I got this little guy. This is my Zastava, it's a M70. I did a lot of research, so they came with these really big blocky rear sights, and it just fell off. I guess for import purposes, if you had a really big rear sight, it helped with importing them over. There's like a point system. So the way around that is, this is an M59 Tokarev rear sight, and it has no problems. It was like $8. My local gun shop was like, yeah, if it had the rear sight, I'd probably pay a couple hundred more. Or he said he'd tack on like $100 more to it, but I found it for $8, and I found that this is the common solution that a lot of people online said. I've never shot 32 ACP before this gun, and it's actually there's no recoil. It's actually a blast to shoot. The only problem with this gun I had was this little corner's a little sharp. So where I like to hold it, it sometimes it liked to bite into me, so I had to hold it a little lower than I normally would. But other than that, this was actually a fun little, I think I only paid like $150 for it. Something like that. It was actually a blast. 32 ACP is a lot of fun. I'm looking to get some 25 ACP next. I don't have a gun that shoots that, but maybe one day. And then, so typically, this is my carry gun, like I said. Typically it has a little 10-round magazine, but at the gun store the other day, the macro mags, they're meant for the much bigger 365 macro, but they make little base plates. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. They make little base plates, so you could fit this big boy. I just thought this was kind of comical, I thought. I'm probably not going to carry it like that, but so that's going to be all for today's video. If you guys liked it, let me know. I certainly love rambling about guns and the obscure stuff. And you guys seem to enjoy my gun rambles too, so anytime I have enough to talk about, I like to talk about it. But I guess that'll be it for today's video. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.